Long ago, on the golden hills of Bethlehem, there lived a young boy named David. He was the smallest of 8 brothers, overlooked and underestimated by nearly everyone who knew him. While his older brothers trained for war and won the admiration of their father, David spent his days far out in the fields, alone beneath the wide sky, watching over a flock of fluffy, woolly sheep. His closest companion was a small lamb, curious and gentle, who followed him everywhere he went. Together, they wandered through green meadows and rocky hillsides, and David learned to be brave in ways no one ever saw. When a lion crept out of the shadows to snatch one of his sheep, David chased it down. When a bear came rumbling through the brush, David did not run. He trusted deeply that God was with him in those quiet, unseen moments, and that trust made him unafraid. Courage, David was learning, does not begin on a battlefield. It begins in the ordinary, everyday moments when nobody is watching. One day, David's father Jesse sent him on an errand to his brother's camp, carrying bread and cheese for the soldiers. When David arrived, he found the entire army of Israel frozen in fear. Stretched across the valley before them was the Philistine army, and at its head stood a giant named Goliath, nearly 10 feet tall, clad from head to toe in gleaming bronze armor. His spear was as thick as a weaver's beam, and his voice shook the earth like thunder when he called out his daily challenge: send one man to fight him. The loser's army would surrender everything. Not a single Israelite soldier stepped forward. The bravest men in the land had been listening to Goliath shout for 40 days, and every morning they grew more afraid. Fear, it turns out, grows bigger the longer we listen to it. But David heard something different when Goliath spoke. He did not hear a frightening giant. He heard someone who needed to be stopped, and he believed with his whole heart that God had already equipped him to do it. King Saul tried to dress David in heavy armor, but it was too large and too clumsy. It simply was not made for him. So David took it off. He walked to a nearby stream, reached in with steady hands, and chose 5 smooth stones. He placed one in his shepherd's sling, the same sling he had used 1,000 times in those quiet fields, and he walked toward the giant. Goliath laughed when he saw him. A boy! A small, rosy-cheeked boy with a stick and a sling. He mocked David and cursed him with great noise. But David kept walking. He did not need to shout back. He already knew how the story ended. David swung the sling once, twice, 3 times, then released. The small stone flew straight and true across the valley. It struck Goliath on the forehead, and the mighty giant fell to the ground with a crash that echoed through the hills. The Philistines fled. The whole army of Israel erupted in joyful celebration. And David, the youngest, the smallest, the one nobody expected, stood quietly in the valley, the hero of the day. The heart of the story. God does not choose the biggest or the strongest or the most important-looking person in the room. He looks at the heart. David was small, but his faith was enormous, and that made all the difference. When we face our own giants, whatever they may be, we do not need to be the tallest, the fastest, or the most powerful. We only need to trust, step forward, and let God handle the rest.